What is up, my intergalactic friends? Welcome back here to another Infinite Galaxy content. I am Shinchi42, and in today's video, we are going to talk about is the Cyclops still worth it to invest on? Now, there was some changes that occurred within the game with the update. Was it really a nerf, or was it actually just a rebalancing? Now, I am an Infinite Galaxy sponsored content creator, and if you guys would like to see more Infinite Galaxy content, do consider subscribing and turn your notification on for regular Infinite Galaxy videos. So, in today's video, we have Cyclops, which I haven't completely worked on yet. My complete advice for you guys, no matter if you are spending a lot of money into the game or you are playing the game casually, focused on one flagship at a time. So as you can see, my main focus at the moment is with Hades, and I really love Hades. So my Hades is actually now rank 6 going to rank 7. My mistake in the beginning, I wasn't sure which one I wanted, so I'm trying to tell you guys this tip right now so that you will not make the same mistake as I have done. In the beginning, I was so hung up with Artemis, and then I saw Hades. Oh my god, he looks so awesome, or the ship looks so awesome, and the skills, I like it, and I'm like, okay, let me invest on Hades, and then I forgot about Artemis, and then now we're like kind of like in the middle of things in here, which if I have invested everything that I have instead of going to Hades and put it on Artemis, I could probably have gotten Artemis at level 10 by now, or close to it. Or if I have just initially set my mind that I am going for Hades, then I could have gotten Hades at a very high level. So basically, that's what I'm trying to say. If you guys are watching this video and you already know that you like Cyclops and you're going to be running with a cruiser gang, then definitely invest on Cyclops first and don't invest on way too many flagship, because when you're doing that, you're redistributing the power of your flagship and you're going to become weaker that way. One strong flagship can make a very big difference in the battlefield. Now, one more thing that I want to give you guys a tip before we dive down into this is that invest into your epic flagship. So for me, I have invested in Thesis, and I'm only investing pretty much on Thesis right now. So hone in on your investments as well, okay? On epic flagships. So is Cyclops still good flagship for you? Well, let's kind of dive down into the changes that they have done. In the previous skill, what they have done in here is that for this second skill, it says here before it had a total warship attack of 75.6% at the max level. And there is a negative shield of 75.6%. So in the previous stats of the Cyclops, it had a 75.6 warship total attack at the max level. But then there's a catch. It also had 75.6% negative to the shield. Get this. Now, they removed that shield. You can see there's no more shield in here. There's no more debuff. There's no more negative effect. But then what they said, since we're removing the shield, the negative 75.6% on the shield, we are then going to knock out 25.2% for the warship attack. In my opinion, I completely don't think this is a super big nerf, because I think it is not a buff. It is not a buff, because buff means it's making a flagship stronger. So definitely their update wasn't a buff. It was a slight nerf, but it's really not a bad nerf, because if you think about it, as they have removed the negative effect for the shield, right? Imagine that you're going to go into the battle with your Cyclops and you don't have the negative effect onto the shield. What the shield does is protects you from your enemy, right? With the negative 75.6% negative shield effect, it allows you to be more vulnerable from your enemies. And that's going to go into effect into your repair bill. Now, considering since we are running with cruisers, as we stack up into the enemies, we will be the last line of defense. But what if you went alone and fought 1 versus 1 with your massive cruisers? And of course, you'll have some meat shield with frigates as well. But still, this is a total warship attack, and the shield was going to be taking an effect for warship as well. So your frigate shield will also decrease if in the previous version, and as well as your cruiser. So there's going to be more casualty eventually. Now, one thing that I like about this is that they did remove 75% of the negative buff, which is amazing. They removed that 75.6%. And then they just kind of decreased the attack just to balance it out by removing the shield so that you won't get as much casualty. So I don't think it's a complete nerf, and I don't think this is saying that, hey, I don't want to go for Cyclops anymore, or going for Brontes as well, right? Because Brontes was also adjusted, but we're just going to talk about Cyclops because Cyclops is the big daddy. I don't think it's a bad idea to go for Cyclops still. I think it's actually even better that they have removed that negative buff for the shield, and I like that approach because everything else in here still works perfectly. We have the kinetic weapon attack, of course, the total warship attack, and cruisers attack frigate bonus 201.6, still good. Cruiser attack 60.5%, cruiser HP 60.5%, and total warship attack 100.8%. And of course, this will have to be in the total HP of the fleet higher than 70%. So it does get the debuff. It did get slight nerf if you are stacking with everybody, and of course, if you are only the one winning. Right? If you are winning, or maybe when you're doing events and you're doing Cyclops, yeah, you're now going to hit a little bit less, but it's only about 25% less. I mean, it's not a huge deal in my opinion. I will be still focusing next into Cyclops after I get my Hades to level 10. For me, my goal is to get this to level 10, and I want to see this ship changes its skin, and I'm curious what it's look like. Now, how many of you guys have already have a higher level of Hades? Let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, I'm really excited to work on Cyclops next. I mean, he looks badass in here. Look at that. It just looks like a very deadly ship. But keep in mind that you're going to be running with cruisers with Cyclops. You're going to be the last line of defense. And I don't think 25% is really a huge deal to, for people to stay away from Cyclops. I think Cyclops is still going to be quite dangerous flagship. And what's nice about this is that even if you are stacking with the players, and if it comes down to that, you are the last line of defense, you're still going to hit hard, right? And this time you won't have any negative buff onto your shield. So if you click this icon in here and you look into the shield, you get some information in here, all right? So the shield can absorb some of the damage taken. So with that negative 75%, you are already removing a lot of shield benefit. It's removing all that damage that you can absorb. So you're going to have, more casualty in the battle faster, and you're going to get defeated quicker. Basically, that's what's happening for that, right? The shield, after you absorb it, based on my understanding, is that you got to go through the shield, right? And then it's going to go to the armor. So you got to defeat that shield first. So having that shield now, giving it back, so maybe it is buffing, in the sense, buffing Cyclops by removing the negative effect. But it's technically not buff, but it is certainly in the same concept of it. Now your Cyclops fleets or the Cyclops warships that are being led by the ship now benefits on having a full shield rather than having that 75% negative buff. So at the end of the day, I think what they have done is a good thing. It allows the Cyclops fleet to have a better survivability in the battlefield. So you can prolong the battle by having that shield. So negative 75% is a huge, huge deduction for the warship. Just keep that in mind. Imagine you have negative 75% of any stats. That's crazy, right? So in my opinion, I think players should still invest in Cyclops. If you really love cruisers, there's a lot of benefits for cruisers. Of course, you're going to be the last line of defense. You're not going to be the first one to get into the repair center. You'll have ability to score really high points into the events, because when players are sending frigates, they're going to be the one who's get destroyed first, destroyers as well, and then the cruisers at the end of the day will be the one who is just hitting everybody out far because it has a very good range. And honestly, I like cruisers, and I've seen a lot of players who are winning events in our alliance because they are running cruisers. They are leading into the top ranks more than me, which is kind of sad because a lot of them just have bronze has, and they are really, really doing such a great job onto the ranks individually. So cruisers is definitely a great. So if you are looking as a free to play and you don't want to have such a huge repair bill, you may want to consider going for a Brontes approach or a Cyclops if you are working for the legendary flagship. So with that being said, is getting Cyclops worth it? Yes, it is worth it. Was Cyclops nerfed? Yes, it was nerfed, but it was also buffed by removing the negative buff. So I would say we are in the middle, kind of neutral. It's not a bad update at all. It's not a worse update. It is actually pretty good because it also benefits the cruiser. You have to think about in the sense of negative shield effect. I think majority of the players are hung up on just the attack that was reduced by 25%. But that's not a big deal. Removing that negative 75% is even better deal than just losing the 25%, if that makes sense. Besides that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. If you guys have not created your YouTube account yet, don't forget to create one, subscribe, and turn your notification on for more Infinite Galaxy content. I'll see you guys again next time.